Right, hi guys. We are back. I'm at a friend's place. I don't have my camera. So I'm afraid you're gonna just have to put up with Harry's handsome face this week. Um,
Yes, have you noticed
and, and
I'm growing a mustache?
go. I noticed that yesterday when we were talking. All right, look, I want you to I'd like you, Harry, if you don't mind, to start
Yeah.
us off telling us about what you were telling me yesterday with regard to the comment that you made on Anne Marie's podcast on the topic of 4D.
Oh, okay. So Anne Marie was speaking with one of her subs,
Irish Eyes.
Irish
Irish
Eyes.
Eyes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
Irish Eyes. She was also talking about our channel, and of course, it caught my attention. I was driving home listening to that show, and they kept talking about the word like the four dimension, 4D, 4D.
Mm.
And, as I'm driving, all I could understand, I mean, I could understand them perfectly, but when they were both using that language, I wasn't hearing 4D. I was hearing 40, like the number
Mm.
40, 40. And, I said, okay, as soon as I get home, I'm going to comment and say, well, 40 is 4D, which makes sense to me because I know in Latin, uh, 40 is 40. And that's where we get the origin for the word quarantine. So, thus, the fourth dimension, which I think we're in the fourth dimension, we're not the third. We are in quarantine. We are held captive in the prison plane.
Mm.
And that's the comment that.
Which, yeah, which is a simulation. I mean, even Max Egan's talking about us living in a simulation. No, and I was just listening to him before we got together, and he was kind of saying that he's got more evidence to show that we are in a simulation than there is evidence to show that we're not. Um, so as usual, guys, this isn't going to be a long one. As I say, I'm at a friend's, and that yeah, I've just got shit to do. So, it was funny that Harry, you mentioned this to me yesterday about the word country,
Yeah.
and then this popped up. A long time ago we had empires run by emperors, then we had kingdoms run by kings, and now we have countries. Yeah,
Run by.
by yeah, well, fill in the blank. Yeah, fill in the
Just
blank.
add the word in front of
Yeah,
re.
absolutely. Yeah, I,
That,
I, I had to put this in, guys. You know how I always like to put something a little bit light-hearted in. This popped up. A British man killed by a shark while honeymooning in Australia. Reports say he didn't suffer for too long, as he'd only been married for 5 days. That tickled me. Sorry,
that's
girls.
that's the
Sorry,
best
girls.
way. That's the best way to
No,
break that
yeah,
trust contract, right? The
yeah,
contractual relationship.
yeah, absolutely. And then this one, beware. I mean, they're all around us. They are all around us. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now this is interesting. There is a full video on BitChute. I'll try and find if I can find it, guys. I'll link it in the pinned comments, but it shouldn't be too hard to find. This is complete and utter fake. And it's interesting that it says here he was shot at during speech. And the other thing, Harry, I don't know if you've seen it, but all the reports that I was seeing was saying he had no vital signs or he was unresponsive or whatever. Nothing anywhere I saw that he had died. But if you actually watch the video of the event, it's an absolute fucking joke, really is. And yet people believe it. People believe it.
Well, usually when there's shots fired, people kind of scramble. It seemed like these people were just standing there
Yep.
waiting
You
for
can s-
another and another shot,
yeah.
and
You can
it's like,
see they're all actors. They're all
yeah,
actors. It's
they
it's an
they were like,
absolute joke.
well, I wasn't given the direction to exit stage right.
Yeah, yeah. And I can't verify this, guys, but where the source that I got this from and told me that it first appeared on July the 2nd. So for all the people out there that, oh, it was a lightning strike, or it was this and it was that, no. There's a lot more to this than is being reported. There's a lot of misinformation out there. I don't have any information. I don't have any new information to give anybody. But I just thought it was interesting that this meme apparently had first appeared on July the 2nd, which was, of course, a few days before
Well,
the
it's
injury.
either that they blew their own stones apart, or the other team blew up the stones. I mean,
Yeah, look,
out of
again, we said this yesterday. I think there are two factions at the top that are fighting. I really do, and we just basically caught in the crossfire.
yep, yep, and both have their own interest at stake,
Yeah,
and they really don't care about what happens to anyone in
yep,
between.
yep. All right, now I'm putting this in because I thought this was. I just thought it was worth throwing out there, guys. Um, a perspective from the other side, if you like, the upper humanity, the red pill. Well, you can't be completely mad with these so-called elites. The upper humanity, the red pill, the yellow brick road, the white rabbit at their fingertips to show them the truth. Most of these idiots suffering and protesting now would have never come to their senses had all this not happened. They wouldn't have cared if we were locked in a cage and put on drugs for the rest of our lives. They're getting exactly what they deserve right now. Let them suffer a bit more until the most hardest skeptic can no longer live in denial. Now, I'm not saying that I agree with that, but I'm not saying I disagree with it either. I mean, it's just another perspective. Um, as I say, we're in a simulation, and simulations are just exactly that. It's just a computer program,
Well, I
and
mean,
this is
have you ever heard of the theory that in most cases, when you are being oppressed, if this is a reincarnation simulation,
hmm,
your best friend could be the one that is going to become your adversary
yeah.
in order to better prepare you for that next level up, or
There's a
that
lot of truth in that, bro.
yeah,
There's a lot of
yeah.
truth in that. Yeah, yeah.
So he's doing you a
Um,
favor.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Now, guys, if you haven't watched the previous podcast talking about 216, the number 216, please do, because I actually missed a couple of things that I found out after we'd finished and uploaded the podcast. So we were referring to Genesis 1:26, and God said, where am I? It's not 26. And God said, let's make man in our image after our likeness. Okay. Well, look what I found. God said, let us make man in our image. 1:26. And furthermore, so God created man in his own image is 137. And we all know what 137 is, the 33rd prime number. Right? This whole realm, Harry, Max was just talking about it. It's mathematically perfect.
Yeah.
The 3.14, the pi, the 3.14, which is the operating system, the 5, the 1.61, the speed of light, which is the speed of the operating system. It's mathematically perfect. And guys, if you're not familiar with Logan or Decode Your Reality, go and watch a couple of his videos. Probably the most important one is how to decode yourself from about a year ago. It will blow your mind. It really will. So we're in a simulation. Now, a simulation would be what? It would be a computer program. And what do computer programs suffer from?
They
The
get sick.
only,
Yeah, they get sick,
yeah,
right?
yeah, but deliberately. I mean, these things are put out so they can sell the proverbial antidote, right?
Yeah.
The only thing that gets a V is a computer program. We do not. It's what we've been told and what we've been sold throughout the decades is all nonsense.
Are you
It,
saying then that Bill Gates is doing that traditional problem reaction solution?
well, I think I know you're being flippant there, Harry, because we both know that he is a front man. He's just a puppet. He's just doing what he's paid to do.
Of course.
So your computer gets one of these, and then you need to get one of these, which is being touted today as one of these. by the same guy that created these and is pushing these. There's nothing to see here. Please move along. It's all
And,
connected, you know?
and you know the story about the this that he
Yeah.
did in India,
Yep.
and he killed so many people, and so there's a
Well,
bounty on his head. If
yeah,
he were to step
absolutely.
in,
Absolutely.
set a foot in India, he'd be arrested instantly.
Yeah. And you know, the thing is, they talk about disclosure. And of course, everybody thinks it relates to aliens. Well, what if it's not, guys? What if what we're showing you here is the disclosure that they are talking about, that this whole thing is a simulation? What if that is the disclosure? I mean, look, I'm just asking the question. Leave your comments below, please. You know, we value your comments. So yeah, that's what I think. And this just, it just came to me in a little download the other night. I was having dinner um, with my friend. She took her little into the bathroom, and I'm sitting there looking at these people walking in the restaurant, all got the masks on. They'd sit down, order their food, take the mask off, eat the food, put the mask on, and leave the restaurant. And I'm like, this is just insane, you know. And then I thought, it's all mind control. You know, it's all
Yeah,
mind control.
this
Yeah.
invisible make-believe virus
Mm.
terrorist will allow you to sit down and eat, and will leave you alone so that
Yeah.
you can enjoy your meal. And then when you're done, it's going to be ready to attack you again.
Yeah. You got it.
That's preposterous.
So before we go, I want to throw in a question. Right now, please, guys, don't come back with comments like, "Oh, you know, it's just normal." I was on the train on Saturday, coming down to my with my friend, coming down to the city that we're in. Now, I stood up to take a photograph because of what I saw through the window. So bear with me for a sec. What you've got here, you've got these TV screens. Now they are in like a V shape because obviously you got the back and the front. Um, but it's a box, right? It's like a V-shaped box, and this thing next to it is like a camera, security camera, right? And it's adjacent. It's next to the box. So if I was standing here, I couldn't see that camera because the box is in the way. So you can see the luggage, you can see the three cameras, and this thing in red, that's just a moving message. We're arriving at the next station in, kind of thing. Okay, so that's what I see when I stand up. Now look at the top of the window, or even on the left. From the top of the window to the ceiling is about 3 feet. I'd guess about a yard, yeah, a meter maybe at least. Right, so I'm sitting behind this thing here, and I'm looking at my window. And I look out the window, I look down the train, it's nighttime. I look down the train and I can see those three TV screens. I can see the camera that's tucked behind this one. That's the real one. That's the quote unquote reflection, right? I can see the red writing. Obviously, on this side, it's going from left to right, but in the reflection, I can see it going from right to left. So my question is, how is all of this, all the way down there, reflected through a window that's 3 feet lower than the ceiling? Right? Now, look, this is stuff that we've all seen in our lives and we've always taken it for granted. But when we start looking at this realm through a different set of eyes or a different perspective, then we get these kind of questions. You know, it's very, very strange that we can see all of the. Don't worry about the luggage. I think I originally I'd taken the picture sitting down here, and then I decided later on to take another one standing up, which is why there's less luggage there than there is here because people have got off the train. But that's not the important thing. The important thing is the red writing. This camera that's clearly hidden behind this V-shaped box just don't make sense, Harry. I know I sent you. I already sent you these pictures, but to me, it just doesn't make sense. I can't get my head around it. So guys, anybody out there? Oh, and by the way, the window is not double glazed. It's a single glazed window. It's like a windscreen. It's there's a little hammer above the window, like for use of emergencies, and there's a little red dot on the glass. And if you know if the train was in an accident, what you do, you grab this little pointed hammer and you smash the red dot on the window, and the window will shatter, and you can push the glass out and get out the train. So I know it's not double glazed, Harry, as you kind of suggested yesterday. No, it's not.
Well, it could just be that from the perspective of when you're standing, you're only going to see what's below your eye level, and from the perspective of when you're sitting down, you're going to see things above your eye level. But
Well, you could say that if you got a mirror on the wall, right, and you're sitting down, and that mirror is at eye level, you could look into that mirror and you could see the ceiling.
yeah,
Well, you can't, depending on the position. If maybe if you're right next to the mirror, you might be able to see the ceiling. I don't know, but there's just something niggling me. There's just something. I kept looking and looking and looking, and I'm thinking, this just doesn't feel right. There's just something not right, and I just don't know what it is. So I just thought, look, we're going to do the podcast. I'll throw it in at the end and see if anybody out there's um, got an answer or got some more ideas.
well, you see these lights behind me right now.
Yep.
Well, I can see those same lights in behind this computer monitor. I have a big screen TV
Hmm.
behind it, and I can still see those reflecting in there. Again, it's just I think it's just the placement of where you're sitting, plus maybe the angle of those windows. Maybe they're not perfectly flat.
I
Uh,
don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I just thought, within the confines of the topic matter or the subject matter that we've been talking about with the simulation idea, I thought, well, let's just throw it in there. Am I reaching? Am I seeing something that's not there, or have we not been seeing something that is there and has been there all along, and we just haven't seen it? I don't know. I really don't know.
I think you're really you're touching a point that maybe people have kind of overlooked for a long
Mm,
time. But the Creator Earth guy is talking about reflections on his last podcast or last upload that he did,
right.
and he's suggesting that for all of you know history, we've always been the initiator, and our reflection follows.
Mm.
And now he's talking about how the people in control are going to start making um, the image that is reflected on the magic mirror or the TV or the computer, whatever you want to say, it's going to make its move, and then we're going to react to it. And in other words, a
Now,
role reversal.
yeah, that would be like your favorite singer getting a fancy new pair of sunglasses, and then you seeing them and going, "Oh, I really like them. I want a pair." So you're
Yeah,
going out and copying
yeah,
the that reflection, if you like, that other person. So
yeah.
I actually haven't watched that yet, but I'll try and get my head around it
Again,
later on today. Mm.
I encourage people to see that because it does put a good perspective on how we try to mimic other things, and the enemy is using that desire to fit in and keep up with the Joneses, um, to manipulate us and move us into being the reactors versus the initiators.
Mm. Mm. Interesting. I'll find if you can. I don't remember seeing it in my feed, Harry. If you don't mind emailing me the link, I'll put it in the pinned comments. I'm not bothering with show notes on YouTube anymore, guys, because it's too hard. They've changed the format, they've changed the layout, so all the links and that in future will just be in the pinned comments.
Mhm. Yeah,
Um,
much
I, I,
smarter.
I'll stick it. I'll stick it there.
It's a
All
lot
right, bro.
lot easier for
Yeah,
everyone to find.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. All right. Anything you want to finish with before we go?
Not much, but like I said, you touched on the mirror. I wanted to talk about that. There's a couple of words that I've run into the last couple of days. And again, my mistake. I don't write them down. I forget them, but it's words that we take for granted again, and they really, we overuse them to the point where we don't even understand what they mean. I'm going to try to recollect what they are, and we can maybe hit that topic next time.
That would be a good idea. It's been a while since we've done one on the language on words and stuff, and we know that many of you guys out there that listen to our stuff, we know that you like, many of you like the word play. So and it's the same with whatever. I mean, my friend here, I mean, she's a Chinese English teacher, and she had a little student here this morning, and they asked me a question: why do we use the word ride? You take a train ride, a car ride, a taxi ride, you ride a bike. And I'm like, well, it's just the word that we use. There's no there's no particular reason. I mean, it was a good question because you're either riding in a car or you're driving a car, right?
Yeah.
And some of these things, these nouns, some of these things, it's just the word we use to describe it. I want a biscuit, I want a slice of bread, so you know what I mean. But it's when you start looking into some of these words and their deeper meaning, then a whole new level of awakening. It's just mind blowing, you know. I mean, if you look at this is the kind of crazy thing, and just give you this we'll finish with this as an example. The word for bread, right? Just a loaf of bread in China is mian bao, right? Now, if you take those two characters, mian and bao, break them, split them up, mian means face, and bao means bag or packet. Now, why on earth would a loaf of bread have the connection to face and packet in Chinese? Now, everybody knows, if I go into the supermarket and I say I want some mian bao, everybody knows it's bread, but nobody stops to, well, hang on a minute, why are we translating bread into face bag or face packet? You know, it kind of gets quite interesting. It kind of gets quite interesting. But anyway, guys, leave your comments below, please. Thank you once again for being with us. Sorry, I've got no camera. I'm away from home for 3 or 4 weeks. So unless
Hey, wait, real quick. In French, a piece of bread is a baguette.
that's true. Yeah. Oh, yeah, of course. There's your bag reference. Yeah,
Yeah,
baguette.
baguette.
Yeah. But isn't a baguette, I mean, isn't that more like a bun? More like a,
It's like the French bread, but broken, a piece broken.
yeah,
You know.
yeah, yeah. Yeah.
I don't know.
All right, guys.
I just want to throw that out.
Yeah, yeah, but look, I mean, there's a lot in the language, a lot in not just in English, but there's a lot in these
Yeah.
languages that we
Oh,
miss. We miss.
yep.
All right, guys. Well, thank you once again. Leave your comments below. We'll see you kind of this time next week, hopefully. Hopefully, Harry, you'll remember
I
those
know,
words.
and they were good too.
Yeah.
I said I need to use this next time.
Well, next time, just send just while it's in your head, send it to me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, on WeChat, and and then, but if you forget, at least I've got a record of it.
Yeah.
All right, buddy. All
All right.
right, so
Yeah. Take care.
let's finish it here. All right, cheers, guys.